Hello, welcome pen friends. This is part 2 of, it'll end up being 3 videos on 30 inks, 30 days. And the reason I'm doing these videos is because not all of my viewers are on Instagram. And so I wanted to make sure that those of you who only follow me here could have an opportunity to see in my ink journal how it's going with testing and writing with these 30 blue inks. So I'm calling mine 30 blue inks, 30 days. Every day I'm using the same pen. I'm using the little Serendipity Mini with a broad goulet nib in it. The broad nib is what I use the most for letter writing, and the Tomoe River paper is what the ink journal is. It's from Lockby, and it's 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. And I'll link that down below, but I just wanted to make sure you knew what I was up to. So every day I come and randomly pick one of the samples. So I only have 10 left because today we're talking about day 11 through 20. So this is going to be kind of fun, I think. It has been a lot of fun every morning to get up, and in the morning I flush the pen out and dry it up, and then I pick my ink and come and start doing, well, this one got sprayed quite a bit, I guess. I changed how I'm doing that later on in the book, and you'll see. But I do the chromatography and get in here and start writing with it, and I do some splatter tests just to really enjoy the ink. And then I start writing a pen pal letter each morning. So hopefully that kind of gives you the foundation, because I know there are a lot of new people here. These are things that some of you already know, but it's Ink Journal, and I'll link them below too. They do like a little challenge in the months that have 30 days where you use one pen and one ink every day. Now, I'm a little bit rogue because I don't just use one pen. I use just the one pen for the 30 inks I'm trying out, but I do have 8 pens inked up. Well, 7 now. I think I had trouble with one. So I have my regular 8 pens that I did the video on, and I'll link that. I'm using those too to write letters, and I'm just going about it a little bit different, but that's okay. We're all different. So, okay, first up, the choice for June 11 was DeAtramentis Night Blue Sherlock Holmes, sample from my dear pen friend SB. And what I've been doing each day is looking up where the ink can be found, if it can be found, because there's quite a few of them that seem to be either limited or whatever. But this one I found at Goulet Pen Company, 45 mil for $14. This is a nice blue black. I really like it. Okay, I put here, reminds me of Noodler's 54th Mass, except this has less water resistance. Now, I'm not sure about that when yeah, I guess it would have a little less, but this has pretty good water resistance. But 54th Mass, if I remember right, is pretty hardy. I seem to remember what that water test looked like. And I like this shade of blue very much. It's nice. The flow was great. This is getting my attention because I've tried out a couple of DeAtramentis inks. I don't have any bottles of it, but I've tried out a couple of different samples where I felt like the ink was really agreeing with me. So let's see, I've got it here on the card. I think, yeah, I've got a few of these Robert Oster cards where when I ran out of my coloring cards, I turned to these. But this would be a really nice ink to write with all day. So I thought, well, you got to tame yourself, Chris. So I got looking at my full bottles, and this is the one that I need to finish up before I would get another one like it, because this is my blue black bottled ink, and it's very economical. It's Fountain Pen Revolution Blue Black. It might not be for everybody, but I have reviewed that as well, and I really like that. That was a sample from the same pen friend, and I ended up purchasing the bottle of that, which is right around here somewhere, but I've moved things around a little bit, so I'm having trouble with the fingertip location right now. It seems a little broken. Anyway, if my eye spots it, I'll show you. So I got some pretty nice splatters here too. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll get more as far as pictures. I do 1 or 2 a day, I think, on there. So I guess I better move on to the next one because I could probably talk all day on one ink. But okay, so next was beautiful turquoise ink, or definitely bright Ackerman Passage Blue. and it's Ackerman 01. I added that in after I wasn't aware that was that it had the 01 in it, from pen friend MW, and it's available at Venice, 60 mils for $30. So I love this. This is right in my wheelhouse for the brighter blues that I like. And I enjoyed it. It didn't have much water resistance at all, but that's not really a criteria that I have to have. Although I will say that I'm getting more and more interested in the ones that have at least a little bit of water resistance. Because I do sometimes think what might happen to my letters if, you know, if the mailman was walking around with them right before they delivered it to somebody, and it might get a little hard to read. But I don't really lose sleep over that. I hope that that won't happen, and I try to fold them good and put them in a decent envelope. But so okay, I said nice and bright, good shading, still not as striking as KWZ Hawaii Blue. Okay, so I wanted to look at that one because I just am really impressed with Hawaii Blue right now, and I have a full bottle of that. So this is the one. This is the card for, of course, it looks a lot brighter when you get that much intense ink on the paper. And then in my full ring, because I have to always check myself or I end up trying to buy ink. So I was comparing the two, and really there is a little bit different intensity there, and yet you still, coming out of a nib, this is darker. And it has a little bit of a red sheen, which is nice, and it doesn't take over too. Okay, let's lay this here. And then I know that's not the end of the story. I also have the Shimmer ink by, well, I guess I usually say J.R. Bond on that one, but I guess that must be what they put on their bottle. The Kianit du Nepal, which is, you know, kind of in that same ballpark. There's a whole bottle of that around here. And then I know there's another one that made me think, oh, Florida Blue. But I really think Florida Blue is lighter. So this has a little more intensity, and I've written with both of them in the nib, so I can say that. And yet it's close, you know. It really is. Let's see, what else do we have? Since I'm such a blue addict here. Well, you can't really compare Diamine Aqua Lagoon. That's a long way from that. It's one of my all-time favorites with tons of shading, but it isn't the same color. Yeah, Hawaii Blue. There we go again, and I think that does it. It should, right? Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, my. Yeah, and I knew this, too. This actually was, like, real eye-opening to me because I have been so busy testing samples out. I haven't written with my Noodler's Navajo Turquoise in a while. And I used to keep my little Kaveco loaded with that all the time. But the camera's doing stuff to us here, but that's turquoise that's my favorite. There is no way to ever justify me buying another turquoise ink, but I do enjoy trying them and learning about them. So, he said very little water resistance, a nice shade of blue, flow is great. Yeah, that was really a nice experience. Okay, this was really fun. The Nemosine Blue Snowball Nebula Twinkle. I put question mark name, but I looked that up and that's what it said. It's a shimmer ink and it's just gorgeous. Again, from Pen Friend SB. I had a little problem here. You could see that it was, it didn't have any water resistance, but it picked up on the ink behind it, so that's unfortunate. I started to try to fool around with the layout a little so that wouldn't happen again, but I was just getting clued in here. Let's see, availability. I'm not finding any in stock, but you can put your email in at Birmingham. I don't know what that means. Well, I went there to their website, so it must mean just what it says. So they have an option for you to queue in that you're interested if it comes back in stock. So that's interesting. From Birmingham Pens. The chromatography was pretty straightforward. It did leave a little shimmer there. Let's see if we can, little glimmer on that line. And then it just went up and showed the contents of the ink, basically. And then this part here was really impressive, shimmery and some like red sheen. It was just awesome. I mean, I could play with that all day. And I did start doing something. I actually made one, not with this one, which would have been good, but I made a bookmark because I was thinking, that would be nice. I'm finding myself a little short on stuff to put in pen pal letters, and I made a bookmark the other day. Okay, so I probably had other things I was gonna pull out. Not on that one, I don't think. Okay, so next up on the 14th was Lommy Petrol, a very, very dark teal. And this ink was really fun. I mean, the flow on this was just amazing. I don't normally like ink this dark where the color sort of isn't as obvious, I guess, to the eye or to my eyes, because, you know, I have to wear different glasses to see. But it had a lot of water resistance. It's a very beautiful base color teal. I love it. I think what happens is, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of sheen, well, it's really not like annoying or anything. There's not really red on top of those letters. It turns into fairly nice shading. Let's see if you can see that part. Well, having a little bit of mixed lighting here, so it's hard. Hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy. I just really enjoyed writing with it. It's a little dark for me, but it's such a quality ink. I just really enjoyed it. And that was from Pen Friend MB. So you can see how dark it is, and I do think the red probably just sort of takes over the color a little, or makes it look black in the writing. But I could write with that ink all day, and I think it would still look really great in a fine or medium nib, and I thought you might like to know that. I believe that with all my heart. I didn't actually load it up into one, because I'm trying not to overload all my pens right now. It's a habit I used to do, and it didn't really serve me too well. So, next, day 15. Okay, that was the halfway point for this month's challenge. Pilot Iroshizuku, Shin-kai, Deep Sea. Beautiful. And I'm really frustrated with myself. I apparently used one of these and I copied it over, and I don't have the initials of the pen friend that sent me this sample, and that's happening. It happened on the next one too. But anyway, if you sent it, thank you, and I'm very sorry, because I like to be able to give, you know, recognition, at least with initials that are, you know, halfway anonymous there. I found it available at Van Ness, $22.50 for 50 mil, or you could get a $3.50 sample for of that. So this, well, I put blue black. It leans toward the blue, and it's gorgeous. Hardly any water resistance that I could see, unless it was playing tricks on me. I see some of the dots left, but I was still having monkey business from bleed through, and I just need to probably buy some more of these and not be trying to do both sides. Okay, it's just a gorgeous color, and I really enjoyed writing with these two. I don't have any bottled inks of these two, except for I do have a tiny bottle of Murasaki Shikaboo somewhere here, which is a purple that a pen friend sent. But I don't know why it is that I haven't gotten Pilot in a bottle. I think I just went wild at first with Diamine and Noodlers and stuff like that. But let's see, no, this is a beautiful ink. Flow is excellent, some shading. It's odd I have yet to purchase Pilot Iroshizuku bottled ink. I like the small bottles. Okay, I went looking because I thought, how could I get around my little system here? Yeah, and I found they had the 20 ml bottles. They had some little sets too, where you could get three little blue inks in a 20 ml set at Jet Pens. And so get me away from there, because I have plenty of ink. Look at that sheen. Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's just, it's wild. It's what I live for, seeing what the ink will do, not just in the nib, but in these splatters like that. So nice. Okay, I've gone on and on. So if it does fall into blue-black, I certainly am covered in that area, but I won't soon forget this ink. And the same thing happened to me with the grays that are in this Pilot Iroshizuku. With the Old Man Winter and the other one too that had more of a pink tinge, and I can't remember the name of that ink, but I'm beginning to realize what good quality these Pilot inks are, and feeling a little bit funny that I stayed away from them, not on purpose. Okay, so next is an ink I hear about all the time, Pilot Iroshizuku Kon-peki. It's such a beautiful turquoise, like blue, bright blue. I'm calling it turquoise, but that may not be accurate. It's just such a beautiful bright blue. And reminds me of Florida blue, but I do believe it's more intense than Florida blue. Definitely it's dealing with some really cool red sheen that you can get. Let's see, here's the card, and you can even see it on there. That is really pretty. And I have a whole bunch of, I wasn't sure how much time I really would have on this to do this, but I wasn't finding the card for Kon-peki, so let's just leave that one there. And I just started grabbing out, let's see, you got to get into those more darker, see the Florida blue, the Birmingham, the Hawaii blue, it's kind of in that ballpark. And then, of course, I love Monteverde Caribbean blue. I'm writing with that this month. There's that Lamy turquoise. I could just go wild, you know, and I do often. Noodler's Navajo turquoise, which I need to remember. I'm not getting the good color that I'd really like to get. The lighting is throwing it off today. So I've got Kyanite du Nepal, Pelican turquoise, that seems lighter quite a bit, and Caran d'Ache hypnotic turquoise. You could tell this is where my interest lies, in this range, all the way from the lighter ones to the more intense ones like this. They're just beautiful, and I don't know why I can't find that one. It's driving me nuts. But if you could see my office, you would probably understand. Okay, so what did I write? Sometimes I come back and say, why did I write that? So no water resistance, but it's funny how the dots stayed, so it's interesting to say that, but that was very interesting to me. And I wrote, this is really nice, bright, like I like it, neat to compare to KWZ Hawaii blue. Yeah, it's right up there with that. And I enjoyed writing with it. I wanted you to see that red, the red that comes out of there. It's a little bit harder to see on this one, but it's there. It's just gorgeous, and it made the prettiest little splatters you could imagine. I wrote, I'm an ink addict. Okay, I guess I thought you guys didn't know that. Oh, this is something I meant to say. These little tape-ins are 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, because I had so much of the bleed back through that I just really didn't want to keep doing that. I wanted to be able to see well. So I started taping in the splatters. And I just ended up enjoying it better because there was no interference then. Okay. This video is all over the place. Okay. Day 17 was a dark teal, really dark, with tons of red sheen. So if you like red sheen, you're going to like this a lot. Now, to me, it leaned over closer to green, and I thought, well, why do I have that in here? Who knows? It's just the way my eyes work, I think. So Diamine Smoke on the Water, a German exclusive from pen friend MW. It's gorgeous. And I could see where anyone who really likes red sheen, what this does is, not only does it sheen, it shades in red. So you've got your base color. Let me hold that up. I'm hoping you could see. And then there goes the cardboard. And then you've got the red. So if you like red sheen, like I said, that's gorgeous. Now, I do like red sheen, but this is a little bit more than I like in my writing. But I loved it on the splatters. That is just, oh my gosh, it's almost like Christmas or something. Doesn't seem very water resistant. Okay, yeah, it wasn't. It moved right up the strip, and also most of the dots left, or maybe I put too much water, but whoops, here we go. Okay, and I really didn't have comparables to that, although, I mean, I have some teals, but I went to grab them, and there was Diamine Teal, which I think is going to come up soon. Robert Oster River of Fire. Let's see, we can kind of compare, but the sheen really took over on that card, so it ends up looking blue on the camera, where it looks almost like a dark teal, dark green to me. Well, then there's Lommy Petrol, which was, we just looked at. Vinta Inks Teal. There's just so much more to explore. It could be, oh, and these are some much lighter. They're not even comparable. But I did have fun pulling these cards out, so I was definitely interested in that. Okay, so next was day 18, Birmingham, Pennsylvania Railroad, Boiler Steam, Blue Black. From Pen Friend. Now there are 3 pen friends that have sent me Birmingham samples. And I just can't believe I somehow just didn't get the initials on there. But I am being a lot more careful, and this was a long time ago. So here it is. Gosh, this is almost hard to even categorize. They call it blue black. Okay, so I'm not so far off. Currently unavailable. Okay, but I'm noticing some changes with Birmingham. That I noticed if you bought a pen, you could get a bottle of ink. That sounded really neat, although they're not really, at this current moment, I didn't see ink sold on their website, but I know they're getting ready to go back into that. At least that's what it said on their site. Very nice blue black, dries dusty on Tomoy River, black sheen on the splatter. It was gorgeous. Let's see. That's going to be really hard to show because it is so dark, but it creates not only that base color, but it leaves intense kind of black sheen wherever it landed. So, and that was really nice to write with too. The flow was really good. It always is with the Birmingham inks. Even the water test did not bleed through this 68 GSM paper. Okay, now that I thought was weird. I forgot to put the dots. So I came in after and put the dots and then put more water. So it kind of looked like it had some water resistance, but not a lot. Okay, so you see how none of it went through. I thought that was neat. I guess I was expecting this to all go through right here, but it didn't. So that was pretty cool. Again, I have blue black ink, but I had a really good time writing with that. Wrote at least one pen pal letter with it. Seems like there was somebody's snoring in the other room. Oh my goodness. We'll blame the kitty. Coco. Okay, so day 19 was another beautiful turquoise, Lamy turquoise, which I had, previous to this, I had only used in cartridges, but it came in the ink journal, Ink Flight 40, I think. It was, I didn't get June, I got May, so it was the May Ink Flight. And I found it available at Van Ness for $12 for 50 mil, or the cartridges, five of them for $4.50. And I noted that it was listed as Lamy Pacific, but it also said turquoise, so I believe that that is the same ink. And I had a good time with this. Like I said, it's a happy color for me. It's definitely a color I'm attracted to. You know, the turquoise and the bright blues that I sometimes call turquoise, even though they're probably not. No water resistance, but very beautiful ink. Reminds me of Noodler's Navajo turquoise, just a tad lighter than Navajo turquoise. Okay, red sheen on the splatter. So let's get that up there so you can see it. That was really pretty. Not as much shading as I like. Well, that's an odd comment to make because I'm seeing shading, quite a bit of it, but who knows? Unless I'm comparing it to something else like Aqua Lagoon, which there's no comparison. This is a great ink. I have used the cartridges and would get a bottle if I use up Navajo turquoise, Hawaii blue, Florida blue. You know, I just confessed and showed you all the ones that I have there, the Florida blue, Navajo, and then the Kianit du Nepal. So that's in that same kind of family. But that was gorgeous, just really fun. Okay, so the last but not least was, this was gorgeous. And I always fall hard for inks that are, you know, impossible to find or whatever. KWZ, meet me in St. Louis, the 2018 for their pen show. Sample from Pen Friend TC. And then availability, I wasn't finding it, but I confess I didn't spend forever on it looking for it, but because I kind of thought, well, that would make sense if it is a little bit hard to find. And I'm not actually ordering any ink from Amazon or anything like that, so maybe they have it, but I didn't find it. A beautiful teal. Oh, and I made the note, okay, KWZ is one of my absolute favorite ink brands. And I don't too often say that. But it is. It definitely is one of my top favorites. So you'll be hearing more about that subject because it's interesting to me that I would just say that. You know, like usually there'll be some I like from a brand and some I just don't like and that kind of thing. But I haven't met a KWZ ink that I haven't liked. Now, if it's a color thing, that's different. But I haven't met any that I didn't like how they behaved or, excuse me. So I said no water resistance, excellent flow, and the shading was good. The shading is very good because that nib stays pretty wet, and I was surprised it shaded so soon, you know. It was just great. Reddish purple sheen. Let's see if we can see that. Now, that's really hard to see because I got to get that natural light to kind of fall on it. So it ends up looking really dark, but that was just really a lot of fun. Okay, so I think what I wanted to show you was how the calendar's coming forward. Coming along pretty good. Every morning I've been coming in and putting it in. Now, I've got to pick the ink for tomorrow, which is for today, I mean, because I'm taping this Sunday, June 21st, Father's Day, 2020. So I've got to pick it, and that'll be an unusual day. We had activity this morning, so I'll be doing my ink testing this later this evening. So I'll be picking that. I'll pick it and show you what it'll be. But isn't that looking real pretty? The one that stands out is right in the middle there. It's got all that red. Excuse me. Oh, my. Okay, let's see. Which one was that? Must have been Smoke on the Water, right? 17, 18, 19. Yeah, that was Diamine Smoke on the Water. It left impressive red sheen on there. And this is Tomoe River paper too. This is in the Bond Travel Gear hardcover A5 notebook. So there you have it. Hopefully that helps you, since those of you who don't do Instagram. I actually find Instagram to be very comfortable. I'm very skittish and weird on Facebook, and sometimes I disappear with no notice because something will just drive me nuts over there on Facebook. But Instagram, I've never had any problems at all, and I like it. There is still comments and things like that, but it just isn't, it doesn't usually turn into anything ugly over there on Instagram. So, but I don't work for them, and I'm not saying that for any reason. Okay, let's pick tomorrow's ink because ooh, this is getting long. Okay, so I probably ought to just not see what I'm picking. Let me scramble it up a little and then turn it away. We'll just pick one out. Okay, whoops. Diamine teal. Okay, good. I wanted to see that because I have several now teals to compare it with, so that'll be fun. Let's see. Including the Lommy Petrol. I wanted to see how it compared to that. Okay, this is where we left off. Yeah, so that's the video. And we'll do one more flip through here just real quick. So DeAtramentis, Sherlock Holmes, Ackerman Passage Blue. Huh. That might have been just a little light for me. And then the beautiful Shimmer ink. Now I know there's 2 more Shimmer inks in there, so, or at least one anyway. So that'll be fun. And then Lamy Petrol. The Pilot Iroshizuku's, which got me really thinking about what's the deal with me not buying bottles of that ink. Diamine Smoke on the Water. Birmingham. My goodness, I knew my voice was not going to hold up, but I thought it would make it through this. Railroad Boiler Steam Blue Black. Oh, somebody over on Instagram mentioned, at first when I read the comment, I got real frightened because the person said, I would not be caught dead with that in my pen. And I thought, oh no, don't tell me it stands for something horrible. But no, it was sort of competing railroads, I think. And my grandfather worked on the railroad in Vermont. So I need to find out what it was called. I don't remember if it was Union Pacific or what. But anyway, okay, where was I? Lamy Turquoise, KWZ Meet Me in St. Louis. And there we have it. And next will be Diamine Teal. So I keep saying I'm going to go and I haven't gone yet. Thank you very much for watching. Welcome to all the new subscribers and friends. I am just blown away and excited that we have so many pen friends here. And I will see you on the next video. Bye for now, and happy Father's Day to everyone.